welcome to the 19th Annual Group Exhibit of Hydrogen Fuel Cells. Those standing in the halls, please come and join us for a free beverage on the house. We're going to be having a discussion with Vaillant regarding their fuel cell heating application and their extended demonstration on the road to market. Please welcome to the stage Mr. Alexander Dauensteiner, from the Head of Product Development at Vaillant.
Thank you. Hi.
So perhaps we can start just giving a brief introduction and history of Vaillant and how you developed this system.
Yeah, Vaillant is one of the heating companies which has developed micro CHP fuel cells a long time ago. We already started in 1998 with the question, can we use fuel cells also for domestic application in households, 1 and 2 family homes? The answer at that time was yes, and then we totally underestimated the efforts which are necessary to really get to a product. So we demonstrated different fuel cell technologies. We have a lot of experiences with nearly all interesting micro CHP technologies. We had a cooperation in the former times with Plug Power in US based on low temperature PEM. We had a cooperation with other companies in Germany, but also in European countries on high temperature PEM, and then we decided in 2008 to concentrate everything on SOFC, the solid oxide fuel cell, as we think that this is a technology which has the biggest potential to cover all the market demands.
So in terms of the system, how can the average individual in an average home benefit from using this system within their household, and how does it work? Yeah,
the principle is very simple in general, I would say. Not in detail, but in general. We have a CHP system. That means we provide heat and power in one and the same appliance. This is based on the existing principle of micro CHP, which you can already buy in the market based on Stirling engines or internal combustion engines, as our EcoPower 1 or EcoPower 3 and 5 kilowatt systems. Vaillant is one of the market leaders in micro CHP in conventional technologies. We have a product range up to 20 kilowatt at the moment, which is more the business demands then. But for the 1 and 2 single family homes, we have the 1 and even the 3 kilowatt system within our product portfolio. Fuel cells, we would say always this is the technology for micro CHP of the future, because it's the most efficient way to provide power and heat in one and the same appliance.
So in terms of your company, you're talking about you're involved in demonstration. So in terms of the commercialization, what is your stage? Are you more on the development stages at the moment? And if so, which projects are you involved in right now? What are you doing in terms of demonstration projects?
So we have as I said previous sentence, we can base our experiences on a long term of even lab testing, but also demonstration. We are now in a very interesting phase, which we call large-scale demonstration. We are within Calux. This is the big field trial in Germany with an installation of 100 systems in that year of our newest generation, which we have presented on the Hanover Fair here in the initiative Fuel Cells. This is the generation 5 we developed based on SOFC together with our partners Saxera, Sunfire in Dresden. We will install, as I said, 100 further systems in Calux, and we are currently developing further field trials, large-scale demonstration, not only in Germany, but also in countries as Austria, France, Italy, Spain. So we will extend now in the next phase the volumes in the market in a pre-series. It's not a serious product. We are still in a pre-development and technology development phase, but you need a large-scale demonstration in order to decrease costs. This is one of the most important issues.
So in terms of these development projects, that is in essence saying that members of the public currently have these systems installed in their households as part of the demonstration project. So in terms of our public audience here, if they were interested in having these units within their home, is it feasible and possible for them to participate in these demonstration projects? If so, how do they do that? And what are the prerequisites in order to have these units installed into their home?
The answer is yes. We as a complete industry, I would say, we are now in a different situation than in the previous years. We have the big Carlux project, which is more or less organized by big utilities, helping us in the last years to provide the technology to get really volumes in big demonstration projects like in Germany with the Carlux programs funded by the National Innovation Program for Hydrogen and Fuel Cells. At the moment, we have developed, together with other partners, with 26 other partners in Europe, the big European field trial program, Field, which we have yesterday, interesting podium discussion here at the HANNOVER Fair on that stage, which enables now to extend and expand the volumes in European countries and member states, but also to involve end users, I would say interesting installers, utilities, but also local utilities and municipalities in the city. So the possibility to involve further stakeholders in the demonstration is increasing, and that helps us to get the volumes up. So your question was, is it possible for an end user to participate? The answer is yes, they can. Important is that this is already or still a field trial, so we have a defined demonstration phase, more or less 3 to 5 years at maximum, and then the system will be replaced, for example, as a serial product or with another product which the customer wishes to have after the end of the field trial. But in general, it's possible to participate.
So you were talking about earlier in terms of entering the market, you're still in the stage of development, there's an issue of the cost. So for these to be on the marketplace and readily available for the public use, what is needed in terms of incentives and who else needs to be involved? You kind of touched on it a little bit, saying, you know, other stakeholders. Can you go into a little further detail as to what incentives you would like to see to bring these to the market?
Yeah, first of all, we have to say that the responsibility to decrease costs is at first on the manufacturer side. So we have to ensure that the customer will get the quality and the price level they expect in the market with such projects and products. For example, we decreased the costs from the generation 4 to the presented generation 5, which we have on the booth here, by 50%, 5-0. So half of the costs were taken out still to simplify the product. That is the part of the digression of the costs, which we call design to cost. Simple product, leave components away, make it more integrated, something like that. So this is the first responsibility. We have the funding contribution from the European Commission by the 7th Program Program, JTI, within Field, which is very, very helpful to enable the field trial partners, utilities, but even end customers, installers, to become a cost level or to get to a cost level which is really, I would say, interesting to participate, because you cannot expect that a customer pays a lot of money, a lot of more money than he is willing to expect for a normal product which you can buy in the market today. This is the second thing. The third thing, I think we need still, even a little, but we need a contribution from a utility or a municipality in the local city of the installation. This cannot, or could also be something like a special price for the natural gas. It's not always to be an incentive for investment funding, but to give something like a low cost offer for a natural gas for the customer is also interesting, because this is the key business of the utilities. The challenge at the moment I see for the complete industry, not only for Vaillant, is to get through this, which you call sometimes death valley. So that means we have a high cost, low volumes, and we need low volumes at high cost. This is a normal thing for all innovative technologies, not only for fuel cells. And the more player we have, which helps to go through this interesting, but I would say final stage before we enter the market with this interesting product, the better we can, I would say, conclude the story of especially German manufacturers when we're looking on who is providing products on micro-CHP fuel cells. Most of the manufacturers are located in Germany. We have Fissmann, we have even BDR with this Baxeno Tech in Hamburg, we have Bosch here, we have Vaillant here, we have Hexis, So the key players of those interesting projects are located in Germany, but we have to be careful that we go, I would say, the last mile of that marathon race together with the players, and we are already in a cost level which is really interesting. We are not talking about incredible amounts of money which we need for a demonstration project, but to keep all the players as a part to contribute to go through this interesting and final decision or final phase before we enter the market, that is interesting and very necessary. Yeah.
Great. I'm just going to check in with the audience. Is there any questions over in the back?
Just a question. You mentioned that you've been, it sounds like, looking at PEM fuel cells for the fuel cell portion of your combined heat power unit for roughly 10 years before you switched to solid oxide. Can you maybe give us a bit more insight as to what was the main reasons or the main factor that made you change to solid oxide fuel cell?
Yeah. Yeah, we had a very good cooperation with Plug Power, based on the former times on a 4.6 kilowatt system, because we expected some synergies with their own development for other industry applications. The main reason why we decided for SOFC was that we believed that the first product should be as simple as possible. We had an experience in the field trial where we tested 30 systems in Europe based on low temperature PEM, which makes incredible problems with water treatment for the low temperature PEM. This was one of the major issues which we decided we are not sure if we can really handle this problem in the serial product. Another problem was that the gas treatment itself, as you probably know, is much more complex than with SOFC. So we have in our current system based on SOFC, we have a reformer which is something like, I don't know, 3-4 centimeters in diameter and 20 centimeters long. That is all. So this is something to do with the philosophy of Vaillant, which we think that it is important to provide a first product which is competitive with regards of efficiencies. So we are facing, I would say, electrical efficiency in the final serial product of nearly 40%, which is more than 10% better than the best micro CHP system in that market, 1 and 2 single family home with the EcoPower 1 we have in the portfolio, which has 26. So this is competitive. We need and this is the most important thing, we need a price competitive system. And this is the reason why we decided in this technology evaluation phase we did in 2008 to decide for the simpler system, which is certainly SOFC, with the challenge of material, because we have a high temperature level there. So, as you said, the system has advantages and disadvantages, the other also. But the main reason was simplify the product, get away from water treatment, and we need start-stop capability, which we have still on SOFC as well. This was one precondition. We said to our partners, Sunfire, Staxera, we need a stack which can start and stop, and this can start and stop the stack, so we have all the requirements fulfilled, and this was the main reason why we decided for SOFC.
Okay. Any other questions from the audience?
Hi, Johnny Wing from Fuel Cell Today. Can you comment on when your in-field trial will start?
Sorry, I didn't get you really. So.
Sorry, can you comment on when your in-field trial might start?
So might start, the in-field trial. Okay, yeah. In principle, we can build tomorrow the next system and provide it to in-field. It's not a problem. We have a small production site and production field in our headquarters in Remscheid, where we produce the systems, test the systems, and deliver to the customers with our normal distribution organization. The challenge is at the moment, which I talked about previous, to develop the projects in the member states of any field. So we need time to find customers, to involve municipalities, other utilities, to develop contracts, because in a field trial demonstration project, you need contracts. You cannot always sell a product. You need a contract, and this takes time. And some of our customers are still, I would say, at the very beginning level of information what micro CHP fuel cells in particular can provide for their business, for example. So you need to explain, you need a meeting, a second meeting, a third meeting. This takes time. So our plans at the moment does foresee that we install the first systems within Enefield in the first quarter of next year, 2014. We have 100 systems in Kalux at the moment in Germany. This is a German project, as you probably know, and the Enefield will start next year. Yeah.
Have a question over here.
My name is Zakul Kubir, Clear Edge Power, United States. I have a two-part question. First is your system heat load following? And the second question is, what type of durability do you predict with your SOFC stacks? Thank you.
First question, yes, it's a heat following system, but we can also load following. So the normal operation mode is at the moment heat following. This is more or less 90% of the systems. We also in the previous field trials with based on low temperature PEM, we developed a virtual fuel cell power plant, completely controlled by signals connected by ISDN or VPN connection and get price signals and load following signals. So we can also operate it load followed, not only heat followed. The second question, reliability of the stack. At the moment, we have results in Kalux from real installed systems in private households. We have stacks more than 11,000 hours in operation, start and stop, 10 times a year at minimum. We have 100% availability of some of those installations. The average rate at the moment is 96% availability. We expect a reliability of the stack of at minimum 40,000 hours. So our target, this is a target which I cannot confirm yet because we do not have that operation time at the moment. We do not want to have a stack exchange within 40,000 hours. That is important because this has also something to do with the willing and the ability to for costs. So I think the 40,000 is not a written document which is like a Bible. But it's depending on the cost. If we get the cost down of the stack, it's no problem to exchange the stack all 3-4 years. If the stack is still on the cost level which we have today, we have a problem. So at the moment, the path to market, I would say, is extend the stack lifetime as long as possible, as long as the costs are in that level we have. As soon as the price decreases of the costs, we can allow also lower reliability times. If that would be the reason, I don't know. As a product manager, I always would say, never change the stack, that is fine. But that's easy to say.
We still have a minute if there's any further questions. Anybody at all? Okay. I have a further question for you. Okay. So we were talking about market and we're talking about these additional demonstration projects. I know we're briefly discussing market entry and correct me if I'm wrong, but I just want to know your timeline for actually bringing these units available for everybody and for sale. We kind of briefly touched on that. I'm just wondering if there is an actual time frame that you're working for.
Yeah, we have not defined a final launch date, and we will not communicate it because Vaillant is one of the well-known brands in the industry, and the customer expects the best quality of a Vaillant product. So we will anyhow deliver a product which fulfills the expectation of the customer, which is quality and costs. And we need certainly through the demonstration phase now, which I talked about the next 2-3 years, confirmation of the long-term reliability and digression of costs. And as soon as we have reached that and get the quality the customer expects and at the cost level which the customer expects, we will launch the product. But it's not that long ago, but we haven't defined a launch date at the moment.
Thank you. Well, this brings us to our end of our topic discussion today. So I would like to thank you for coming here on stage and talking with me. Pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It was my pleasure.
If there are any further questions or you'd like to speak a little further, the booth is located at E51, which is just around, just on the other side. So feel free to take a walk and come visit. Thank you.
Thank you.